Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Maddie May here. This is a different type of video than I've ever uploaded before, but I got a lot of comments on my last video that you guys were interested in my sister's, I guess like a small business is what you could call it. Yeah. So she has, I'm gonna let her do most of the storytelling and talking, but she has been really hustling. She's converted this entire basement into her like inventory office area, but she resells clothes and uses a variety of different companies and stuff and incorporates them into her business to resell clothes. And so I thought this would be a really cool video to make, to break down exactly how she does it and what her process is, in case you guys want to start your small business. So I'm gonna let her do most of the talking, but yeah, so do you want to introduce yourself and tell us like a little bit about how you got into this?
Well, you guys all know I'm Maddie's sister. I'm the oldest. My name's Libby. So I really started reselling clothes when I was in college. I went to school at the University of Alabama, and there are a lot of wealthy students that go there, and they sell a lot of their clothes to Plato's Closet. So I found that there was about, I guess it was about 5 or 6 years ago, I was finding a lot of like Lululemon at Plato's Closet, and I noticed that they didn't have it like marked up a lot like they do now. So I would buy the Lululemon when I'd find it. I think I spent like $12 or $12 or so on it back then, and then I was able to flip it for like $50. And so that's kind of when I really started reselling clothes, but I never really did it on the scale that I'm doing it right now. I started reselling again because I'm a teacher and I live by myself, and I was trying to find a little bit of extra income so that I was still able to go shopping, go do things with my friends, go on vacation, stuff like that, because I needed a little bit extra income. So I've been working really hard lately since I'm out of school right now, working really hard on the business, and I sell on Poshmark. That's where I started, and then I also sell on Mercari, and I also sell on eBay. So all three of those platforms are pretty easy to use. I know eBay was really scary to me at the beginning because I'd heard a lot of people getting scammed and stuff like that, but now that I figured it out, it's pretty simple. When we're not in a global pandemic, I usually go shopping at thrift stores, and I go, I would say 2 to 3 times a week. I have one like literally like 5 minutes from my house, if that. So I go there a lot. But right now, since I can't go to the thrift stores, I've been using ThredUp, and I've also been looking on Poshmark. I buy some things on Poshmark because a lot of people are cleaning out their closets and they just want to get things out, so I can find some good things at a good price and I'm still able to flip them.
So ThredUp has this like subcategory, subgroup.
Yeah, it's called the Rescues. I was really excited about this, and I already opened it, but this is a DIY shoe rescue box from ThredUp. So this came with 25 shoes for $120, so that breaks down to I think it's like $4.80 or somewhere around there per shoe.
And the whole point is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole point of it is these are designer items or high-end items that they don't necessarily want to sell directly on ThredUp because they are stained or damaged in some way, and so they kind of send it to you and they call it ThredUp DIY because they're basically saying like, if you can figure out how to fix it, how to get the stain out, how to get it to be less damaged, or if you can find a way to sell it, then it's all yours. I mean, obviously you have to pay for it.
Everything she said was right, except it's not all designer. The only ones that can be, like, sometimes they'll throw in a designer item in a random box, but a lot of them are just like Target brands. You know, they can be, it's a mystery box. You never know what you're getting. You just pay the money and they send it to you.
But usually, if you can sell it, you would be making a profit.
Yeah, so in this box, I was gonna show a few things. I already went through this box and I cleaned them already. I was surprised there was actually 26 shoes in this box, so I got a little extra, so that brought my price per item down about 10 cents or so, which is always a good thing. These are some of the shoes. I already sorted them. I have these over here. These are some of the shoes that like I wouldn't resell because I know that like these are just flip-flops from Target. I could probably get like maybe $5 for this, and that's just not worth my time. These don't have a brand on them. Even though they're cute, they're not branded, so somebody would probably only pay $5 to $10 for these, so it's just not worth my time.
Because obviously, like, shipping plays a part too, so.
And then these were really good. These are 3.1 Philip Leam, which is a high-end designer. I was surprised these were in there because these retail for a lot. And then I got a pair of like brand new Uggs that are upstairs. I'm still cleaning those.
And do you often list the same item on multiple platforms and just see which one sells first?
Yeah, so that's a big thing about reselling too. It's called cross-listing. So I said I sell on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. I list every item to every site. And it takes a little bit of time, but like for example, I had this pair of Allbird tennis shoes, and that's a really popular brand right now. On Poshmark, they were selling for like, I think $35, but I listed it on Mercari and I was able to get someone to pay $50. So it's kind of just, I list them on every platform because you never know who is on what platform.
And then you just have to take it off almost immediately after it sells.
Yeah, I've actually, knock on wood, I've never had someone purchase the same item twice because I forgot to take it off, but I just have to be really careful.
So I guess I could have said this at the beginning of the video, but throughout while Libby's talking about kind of how she does it, I'm just going to be including whatever b-roll we've collected throughout this week of her doing her thing.
I can probably, maybe I'll do like a screen recording of how to search on Poshmark, because you just want to be really mindful, and you can look these up and I'll show you how to look these things up on Poshmark, but you need to look at what is selling right now. Like right now for me, I know, and I know a lot of resellers, I know that activewear and loungewear is selling like hotcakes. Like it is, if you have activewear in your closet, it's going to sell. And there are a bunch of people on YouTube who are really, really good resellers that film a lot of videos showing you how to do research and stuff.
And also one thing that I know Libby tries to keep up with is she like ships almost immediately to like get the stars up in your shop and stuff. So if you do decide to do this, like make sure that you get the shipping out as quickly as possible, because you want to get as many good reviews and high ratings as possible, because that's kind of what brings people to your page.
So you want to be really mindful, especially like on Poshmark and eBay too, that you're shipping your things quickly, because on your profile it will say this seller has maybe 4.7 average days to ship. So that means on average it takes you 4.7 days to get your product out of your house and to the hands of the buyer.
I was shopping for a Fabletics hoodie the other day, and the item was on both like 2 different platforms, and I think from 2 different people because they were different photos, and I ended up buying one over the other one simply because like they said that they wouldn't ship until like it would take a month to get to me. And so that really matters for sure. Libby's gonna talk us through sort of what the process is. Someone orders something, what happens from that moment on.
So on my phone, I have for Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay, I have my notifications turned on. So if someone makes me an offer on something, or someone buys something straight out, I get a notification, and I always have my phone with me. So once I see that notification, I will make a list on my phone of the things that have sold. And then usually in the morning time, lately I've been doing it in the morning time, right before the mailman comes, I make a list, I print out the shipping labels, I pull the items from my inventory, and then I package them up. And then lately I've been putting them in our mailbox for the mailman to pick up, since he comes straight to our house. But if it doesn't fit in the mailbox, I'll just run it down to the USPS and just put it in the box. Harley, this is my shipping buddy. We're headed out to ship our stuff. Harley, they're so cute. And then for Poshmark and Mercari, once you ship the item, the buyer has to, once the buyer receives the item, they have to go onto the app and accept the order. For you to get paid. If the buyer for some reason doesn't accept the order within 3 to 5 days, then they will automatically release the money to you. So you don't actually get paid for the money until the buyer, or you don't actually get paid for the item until the buyer receives the item. Don't let shipping stop you, because it's super easy to learn. It's not something to worry about.
Yeah, I would second that. I don't really know, again, I don't know much about how Libby does what she does, but I will say that it looked a little overwhelming when she first started doing it. I was like, there's no way I could do that. But I think that it eventually, once you know how to do each step in the process, it stays time consuming in some ways, but it also seems to get more and more fun, because you get better at doing each step in the process, and you get better at knowing what brands are like good.
Yeah.
That's what can you talk a little bit about, like, how do you just know what brands are good because you're into fashion, or like?
Well, though, I mean, like, there's ways you can research it, and that's what I was kind of saying earlier. Like, I'll try to include a video of my, like, a screen recording of how you can kind of research a little better.
It's crazy. She'll like get stuff and show it to me, like, just use this shoe for example. She's like, these are worth $500. I'm like, what brand is that? I've never heard of that brand. It's like something, like some word I've never heard of before. And I'm like, how did you know it was high end? And she really, I feel like you just look it up a lot of the time.
Yeah, a lot of it's just looking it up. I mean, a lot of it is past experience, just knowing, like, oh, I know that's a Burberry jacket because of the plaid on it, or oh, I know, like, that's the logo for Lululemon.
Like, hand me that opening ceremony jacket. So like, this just might be me being uneducated, but she pulled this out and I was like, I literally own one of these that I got from a gas station, but this one has the brand Opening Ceremony on the back, and it's like, how much?
It's like a New York brand. And it's funny because I actually didn't know about this jacket specifically, that if you read the labels, because you can get a lot of information on labels, but like this one says exclusive of trims made, so this was made in Mexico, but then under that it says revamped in New York City. So that means that this designer bought this in Mexico, and then they put their branding on it, and now it's a designer.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And I actually didn't know that until I was listing it and I read the inside.
And how much see, this is like considered designer, this jacket.
Brand. That brand retails from anywhere from $100 to like $300. So I'm hoping to get probably $90, $95 for that. If you're doing this, like, if you've got, like, I would say probably more than like 50 items, it's really beneficial to create an inventory system, because then you know, like, exactly where things are, and things won't get lost. Because if you have 200 items sitting in your apartment, you're like, okay, this black lace dress just sold, but where is it? You're kind of screwed.
And what if you have like two dresses that both kind of look black lace?
Yeah.
You don't want to accidentally pick the same one. So she really does have each one in boxes, and it goes A, B, C, D, E, F.
Each box is a letter, and then inside the box is numbers.
So do you have anything else?
I want to point out, like, there are some people who think that this business, because there are so many people, if you just search on YouTube, there are so many people who do this full time and make a living for just reselling used clothes. Honestly, there are some people who think that what we're doing is not fair, because, you know, we'll go into Goodwill and we'll search for things, and they say that we might be taking them out of people's hands who need them. But if you really look at it, we're saving, you know, maybe if somebody really wants an item, if somebody comes up to me in Goodwill and says, I've been looking for this item, I really want it, I'm going to give it to them. Like, I'm not taking things away from people. And also, reselling clothes, there's so many, and I think Maddie's talked about this on our channel before, like,
well, fast fashion is the second leading polluter in, I think, the world. Maybe just the United States, but either the world or the United States, the second leading polluter. And so the way I look at it is like, we want to get this clothing into someone's hands as fast as possible. It doesn't matter who it falls into, whether it's resellers or whether it's people who go into Goodwill looking for clothes for themselves without reselling it. Like, we have to get these clothes into other people's hands and reuse, reduce, and recycle, because, I mean, all of these clothing items are ending up in landfills. So as much as you can reuse it is, in my eyes, beneficial and make a living off of it.
I mean, we're taking used items and we're giving them a new home.
And it's not like Libby goes in and clears out the entire, like she buys 5 or 6 items that are the best of the best that she picked through. It's not like you go with a minivan and like pack up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you guys would like to look at Libby's Instagram account for her small business, I think it's called, she calls it Libby's Labels. So I'll link that Instagram account below, and I'll link whatever else she asked me to link below. But she said that if you guys have any questions about reselling or you want to get into it, her Instagram DMs are always open. So yeah, I don't know, hopefully I'm gonna tell Libby to reply to comments on this video if you guys have any extra questions as well. But I honestly think, like, I've never been that good at fashion and just knowing stuff about fashion, so I don't know if I could ever do this, but it definitely does look fun. It seems really cool to just like get stuff in the mail and you're like, what am I gonna get, how much can I resell it for? Like, I could see how it would be really fun to get into. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully it cleared some things up for you guys and maybe inspired you guys to start your own side hustle. So thank you guys for watching. Say bye, Harley.
Bye. See, bye-bye.
Bye.